Liberate IT is an Oracle NetSuite solution provider that has been servicing Australian and New Zealand companies since 2011.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Liberate IT Back to Basics training session for today. So I am Gabrielle. I'm the Relationship Manager at Liberate IT, and I also look after the support desk. And presenting today is Michelle Cronje, which quite a few of you will know Michelle. And Michelle is one of our functional consultants with a huge amount of experience on site. Michelle, just 1 minute. I just forgot to mention, everyone, just to let you know as well, we are recording the session. So if you do have to nip away, you will be sent a recording tomorrow. Please do share that recording. Share it to as many of your team members as possible. So just remember that you'll get a recording tomorrow. Wonderful. Okay. Thanks, Michelle. I can see your screen, so you look like you're all up and ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And welcome to the Back to Basics reports training. So in today's session, we will look at the following. So we're going to have a look at how you can identify some of the standard reports available to you. And then whilst we're on that, we're going to have a look at how you can collapse and expand on your reports. We will go through each of the filters available to you, where you'd find the filters on the report page. And then we're going to have a look at how you can display the report's title on the report. I'll show you how you can display a graph on the report. We will also be looking at exporting these reports and what formats you can export them in. And then we will look at how you will be emailing and scheduling these reports. Then I'm going to take you through how you can customize on an existing standard report. We will then be adding an additional filter to your custom report, and then I will show you how you can make this report available to specifics or specific roles only. So first, we are going to be using the next case scenario. So Kings Limited's sales manager would like to see a report that shows the total sales for each sales rep. He wants to see the total sales broken down into months, and he wants this report to be emailed to him in an Excel file on the last Monday of every month. So let's have a look at how you would be identifying this report in NetSuite and how we will be doing or scheduling that report through. So first, we're going to navigate to our reports tab. So I'm just going to click on reports, and that's going to take me through to my reports home dashboard or dashboard. And then, as you can see, you've got this little portlet called report links, and this then gives you a list of all the report categories that are available to you. You can then go and expand on each one of these lists. So looking at the case scenario, we are looking for a sales type of report. So as you can see, you've got sales orders. So that would obviously capture all your sales order information. So you can have a look and see what reports have sales type of information in it, like customers / receivables, forecast, pipeline, and then we've got our sales section over here. So it could be that you used to have all your information stored under customer / receivables in your legacy system. So it might be where you kind of go like, I'm not sure whether or not it's under the sales tab or whether or not it would be under customers / receivables. So what I normally advise people to do is to actually go and then just click or on the plus sign on both of the sections that you think you might actually find the information that you require. So it could be that you've got this customers by sales rep, and you might think, that might be a report that could give me the data that the sales manager wants. And then I've got my sales by sales rep report in here as well. So it goes through each and every single one. Normally you would be able to define more or less what you want by the naming convention that NetSuite uses. So if you're uncertain, as I said, open that report and review the data in that report. So I'm going to go to my customers by sales rep. Now, as I can see straight on, this is not the report that I'm wanting. You can as well, if you're not 100% sure what data the report pulls through, you can just click on this little help menu at the top, and that would actually take you through to the report help. So as you can see, it gives me the customers by sales rep summary report, and then gives me the detail as to what this report would give me. So by just a glance, I can see that this is not the report that I'm after. So opening my sales by sales rep report, you can clearly see that this is the report that would work for my sales manager. So it's giving me the sales by sales rep, and it's giving me the sales broken down into months, and it's putting it nicely into columns at the side over here. So let's have a look at some of the filters available to you. So when you are scheduling a report, it's always important to remember to always use the filter or the date filters at the top here, and not use custom as an option unless you wanted to send that custom date on each scheduled report. So for instance, if I'm going to go that I want to see this month, so if I'm going to go from the 1st of August to the 31st of August, next month it's going to send me the 1st of August to the 31st of August if I'm going to select custom. But if I want to select month and I want to say that I want to have it this month, then what the report would do is next month it's going to go that this month is September, and it's going to send me September's values. So that's why it's really important to actually use those kind of date filters. So I'm going to go and put it back to here. You have the options to where you can actually go here and here. And then you can have additional filters. So you want to have a look at year and months. So it's going to narrow the filter selection by adding all the year filters, but that includes month as well. So I'm going to go back to my here, and I'm going to say that I want it for this here. Next, you've got your from and to. So once you actually change this, the date will change to custom. And as I said before, it's highly advised not to use your custom filters when you are scheduling reports to be emailed out. Then you've got your columns. So this is the columns at the top that you're seeing over here. So this would basically, so you've got January, February, March, April. So what you can do is you can break it down on your segments. So if you use class, department, and location as segments, you can simply click on that. And then if I click refresh on this, you'll see that it's got location, and it tells me what locations and where the salesman sold these, or what their figures is per location. Then you've got your little week column, so I'm going to click refresh on that. And that takes you through, and it actually just breaks this report down into weeks. So this is a really handy, quick way to actually just change what you are seeing in the columns on the side. I'm going to change it back to month because this is what the requirement was for my sales manager. Next, you've got your little, it looks like a little spanner over there, and that's your options. So in here, you can say that you want to view this report in grid. So this is just how you want to view it. So if you don't want to have the little lines at the top over there, you can just go report plain, or you can say that I want to keep it to report grid, and that would just give it, add those lines in there for you. You've got your expand level, and then over here you can also decide whether or not you want to display the title or not display the title. So it's actually quite nice to display a title if you send these reports in PDF format. So it's just really personal preference. You also have this little collapse and expand button at the bottom here. And this is just a really easy way to actually collapse your report or expand it So as you can see, the more I click on the expand button at the bottom, it actually expands the report according to hierarchy. In this case, it's obviously hierarchy for the sales rep. So as you can see, if I go expand or collapse it all, I can also go and expand it manually without actually using these buttons. So it's just really preference on whether or not you want to click on the collapse or expand at the bottom, or whether or not you want to use the little plus or minus signs. You have this little graph button over here, and this is where you can actually just add, and this just gives you a little visual representation of the report you're currently viewing. And then you have the option to actually export these reports in either Excel, PDF, CSV, and Word. And then you can also print this report. So if you want to physically go and print it, you can do that. Then you've got this little envelope at the bottom, and here you can actually just click and say if you want to email this. So it would automatically use the user as the recipient. Obviously, this is saying Merv Views because I am logged in as Merv Views. You can also go and you can add and copy additional people. So in here, I can just go onto my list. And then I can go and I can use my little filter. So I can say that I want to send it to my employees, and that will break it down to my employees. And in here, I can actually say who I want to add onto this message. So who do I want to include on this email message? Then you've got your little message tab over here, and here I can actually select what I want to say. So what do I want to say in the body of my email? And then I've got my sending format. So do I want to send this report in a PDF, Excel form? So you can go and enter your custom message and then send it in the format that you want to send it in. And then you've got your attachments. So if you do want to include zip attachments, and you can attach them on the folder. So if you have any additional things that you want to attach to this, you can do that by simply clicking on the plus, or you can just select it from what is currently in NetSuite. Next, another great thing, especially when you are looking at your financing kind of report and you are specifically looking for a specific value, you can use your little filter or your search bar at the bottom here, and you can simply just type. So I'm just going to go Merv, and I'm going to click enter on that. Now, as you can see, it actually just highlights Merv Views for me, and I can actually quickly identify what I am looking for. So that is a really helpful function. Another way that you can do this is by clicking on Control F, and then a little bar at the top will appear over here, and I can do the same. And I can go Bruce, and as you can see, it highlights Bruce for me. So it still highlights Merv because I haven't clicked refresh on this yet, but it also highlights Bruce for me. So this will look at the whole page, and you can actually use this on most of your list views. So if you're looking at a list of transactions, you can just click on Control F and then find a transaction, and it will kind of highlight it on the page that you're on. So if you're on multiple pages, you will need to go onto the second page, so it will highlight it for you. Now I want to be scheduling this report. So as I said before, the sales manager would like to have this report scheduled to him on the last Monday of every month. So what I can do is I can just click on this little schedule button over here. And that would open your schedule report. So here you can call or name the schedule name. So I'm just going to keep it as sales by sales rep summary. the date will pre-populate with today's date. And then you've got a start time in here. So the start time is not the time that you're actually going to receive this report. This is when the email will be actioned to send or to be sent. So in here, it actually says that we're currently in our peak hours. And that would mean that it will take a bit longer for the report to be emailed out to you. So it could be that your sales manager wants this report to be emailed on 8 o'clock in the morning or by 8 o'clock in the morning. So when he comes into the office, he has this report available to him. What you can do is you can just schedule it to be actioned at 7 o'clock in the morning. So basically what that would do is it will set the workflow at 7 o'clock, and then within that hour, it will actually email it, and it would be in his inbox at 8 o'clock. So you would know that, oh great, the schedule will be sent at 7 o'clock. So it will give the system an hour to actually send this report. Then you've got this little run report more than once. So if I check that, that will allow me to actually run this report more than once, exactly what it says. So now I want to go monthly event. So you can choose daily, weekly, or yearly event. In my case, I want to have it as a monthly event. And this is where I'm going to say that I want to have it as the last Monday of every month. So you can also say last Monday of every 2 months. So it will send it every second month as opposed to every month. And in here, I can also select an end date. So when do I want this report schedule to stop? So you can either choose that there's no end date, or you can say that I wanted to end it by the last Monday, the 20, whatever the date it is, 2020. And you can easily select it by just going. So as you can see, I can go through and then have a look at August, and I can say that I want to see it. So it's the 31st is my last Monday. And as you can see, that no end date has automatically been checked. Then you've got your recipients. So this is very similar to what you've seen on the emails that I've just showed you. So you've got your little recipients box in here, and in here you can actually select what recipient. So you've got your recipient Merv Hughes. You can decide whether or not, so if Merv Hughes is not the person that you're creating this report for, you can actually change the recipient in here. You can say that, oh, I am wanting to email it to, yet again, you can go and narrow it down, and you can say that I'm wanting to send it to Craig Stevens, and then I can attach any additional recipients in here. So in here, you can go, same thing, add it as a list. I'm going to narrow it down to employee. You can use your search in here. So if you've got hundreds of employee records, then you can quickly just type in the employee name, and that would narrow it down to the employee name. But in here, I can either go that I want to send it to my sales rep, David Bradley, as well. So you can just add all the recipients that you want to receive or you want to have to get this report. In your subject, so this is the subject that you will, or the subject line on the email. So you can change that if you want, and you can add a message in here. So like, hi team, here's the sales by sales rep report for this month, etc. And then in here, you can also change the sending or the sending format. So in this, I am going to say that I want to send it as an Excel format, because that is one of the requirements that my sales manager required of me. And here you can also add additional attachments. I'm going to click save on this. Oh, it's just saying that I need to there's no message in there. So basically on that, from this month onwards, it's going to actually send out this report to the people that I selected on the report every last Monday of every month. So now that we've done the reports, we're going to have a look at customizing reports. So my sales manager comes back to me and he says that he wants me to create a custom report that shows the total sales rep for each sales rep, but he wants to see it on customers. So he wants to see the customers for those sales reps, as also the total value spent by customer by sales rep. He also wants to see these totals broken down into months. He wants to add an additional filter by sales rep. So instead of creating a separate report for each sales rep, he can then just go and filter it down. So if he wants to look at a specific sales rep, he can just use that filter option. Then he also wants this report to be available to sales managers only. So let's navigate back to NetSuite. And because I know that the sales by sales rep report is halfway what I want, I'm going to now just go and customize my existing report. So I'm going to click on this little customize button at the bottom. So I'm going to click customize on this. Now, as you can see, we've got name in here. So this is the report name. So what do I want to name this report? So I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to go King, or you can even go that this is sales. This is for my sales team. So it's just a nice way of actually just categorizing all your reports. So when you do go through your reports list, you can have a look and you can see, oh, these are all my sales reports. Especially as an administrator, it might be easier because you'd be able to actually see everyone's reports that you are creating for them. So I'm going to go sales, and then I am going to say that I want to see total sales by rep and customer. Now, what I want to do is I want to add my field customer in there so that I can have a look and that it will give me the values that I want. So I'm going to go and I'm going to go, I know that it's not going to be under sales rep because these are all the fields available under my sales reps. It's definitely going to be a field that would be underneath my sales section. So you will go through each and every single one of these fields when you are customizing your own reports, but because I know exactly where to find it, I can actually scroll down and just find it quite easily. So I've got my customers/projects in here, and then I can go down and I can look for company name. So that would add the company name. You also have this little move to left, move to right. So if I move it to the left, it will actually just place it right next to my sales rep as a column. So I'm just going to click preview on this. Now, as you can see, I've got my sales rep column in here. I've got my customer, and you can see that Kylie Golding, Pirate Co, these are the customers that these people sold to. Now, what you can do, so if you don't want to see it like this, you actually just want to combine these two columns, you can do that by just going return to customization. Now, I'm going to click on this customers /projects, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say group this with my previous columns. So I'm going to click preview on this again. You will see that the customer no longer appears as a separate column, but it's actually grouped with my sales reps. Now, what I want to do is, I don't really like the fact that it says customer/project company name. I want to make this a custom I want to change the name of this column. So what I can do is I can go return to customization. Going to click on my customer/projects, and then as you can see, you've got this column label, and in here I can actually just go sales rep by customer. Now if I click preview on this, you will see that the name has changed to sales rep by customer. So that makes a lot more sense when you are looking at it instead of seeing customer/project company name. So it just looks a lot cleaner and a lot neater. So I'm going to go back to my return to customization page. And I'll now want to add that filter. So I want to give my sales manager the ability to actually filter it by sales rep. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to filters. And in here, I can actually select the filter type. So I'm going to go sales rep is sales rep in here. And here I'm going to select who I'm going to filter. So you're going to have to make a selection here at first. So what I can do is I can just go and say that I'm looking for Bruce. I know that he is a sales rep. Yeah, there's Bruce. And I'm going to click done on this and then done. Now, what's going to happen now is I'm just going to click preview. And what's going to happen is it's just going to filter to Bruce Sullivan. But what I do want to have is I want to have this filter to be available at the bottom of here so that I can select or have a custom selection. So I want to have that ability to actually filter it on the report itself. So I'm going to go back to my returns to customization. And then on this little show in filter region box, I'm going to make sure that that says yes. Now, if we preview this report, you can see that I've got this ability to actually now go and narrow down my search. So I can go, oh, I want to look at everyone again, click refresh on that. And that would then filter it and it would make it available to everyone, or make it available so that I can see everyone's details in there again. Go back to returns to my customization. And now what I want to do is I want to make this report available to my sales manager roles only. So I'm going to go to my more options spot over here. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to select the roles that I want to make available to. So I'm going to click on the little arrow buttons at the bottom of here. And then what I can do is I can just find my sales manager role, click it down on that, and that would make this report available to my sales managers only. So I'm going to click save on this. Now, if I go through to my reports, saved reports, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find it. So we've got my sales rep, sales by customer. So you can just have a look at what you stored it as. So let's go to this customer. So if you've already saved your reports, it would be in here. Now, as you can see, you can easily find this. So next, I want to be creating a snapshot of the report. So you've got this little button, so you can only create snapshots on customized reports. So if you want to create a snapshot and it's not standardly available already on your snapshots portlet, you can just customize a report and then go and click on the create snapshot. And then in here, you can actually select or enter your snapshot title. So I can say sales rep by customer. So you will need to select two narrow and white portlets. So I'm going to say that I want to view the following. And then I'm just going to click save on that. So here you've got your graph, and that will just give you your X and Y axis if you do want to add it as a graph on the report venue. So let me just remove this one and click save. Why is it not working? I'm just going to click save on that. That should be okay. Not allowing me to actually do 3. So now if I go back to my home dashboard, I can actually edit this portlet that I have. So it's your reports snapshot portlet. So if we go to personalize, you've got your report snapshot section over here. So that I just edited, not seeing it. Let me just edit again. Clearly I didn't click on it properly. Okay, so I'm just going to set this one up. Clearly there's a bit of an issue at the moment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select that sales by sales rep report. So sales rep by customer snapshot that I've done. And then here I can decide whether or not I want to view it as a list or a graph. So, and you can also change the date ranges in here. So say if I want to see it as a graph, I can save that. And then NetSuite will show that report sales by customer as a graph. But if I do change my mind and I want to actually set it up and see it as a list view, I can simply just click on display type. And then as you can see, I've got my sales rep, and then I've got my sales, and that gives me the detail that I was after. You can also edit your selection, what you've done on the snapshot, by just clicking on edit. So that would, so if you want to change it and you want to see it by customer instead, you can do that. Next, you can also remove the report if you no longer want to see that portrait in there. So that is the training for today. So I'm going to give some time for some questions. So if you want to type some questions in the questions box, feel free to do that now.
There was just one question earlier, which you may have gone over again, Michelle, was just asking where the schedule button was again. Did you see that?
Oh, yes. Yep, yeah. I can do that again. So
wonderful.
If you go through to your report, I'll quickly just go to my sales by sales rep report again. Now, at the bottom of it, there's like a little, yeah, can everyone see? Yep. So you've got this little schedule. It looks like a little calendar, and it's got a little clock on it. And when you hover over it, it actually says schedule. So if you click on that, that would take you through to your schedule button, and you'd be able to do the scheduling from there.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, it doesn't look like there are any questions coming in at the moment. Guys, just remember the questions, if you have any questions at all, please do type them in now, making the most of the fact that we've still got Michelle here and we've got a few minutes before our scheduled close. You can always send questions directly to myself. Oh, here we go. Michelle, can you see that question there? When you customize the report and change the column name, as demonstrated, this also changes the field name. Is there any way the field name can remain and only the column label change?
So yeah, it does change the, so I'm not sure because it's not really gonna keep the field. So if you change the column name, that is basically the field name. So yeah, I don't think that is at all possible. So if I don't want to see it as sales rep, if I change it to sales, just sales, or just go representative or sales manager, something like that. If I go preview on this, it will change the column to sales manager, but there's no way that it actually will change the field because it doesn't say the field at all anywhere else. If you do talk about, if we have a look at the field over here, you still have that where it says that this is actually sales rep, where it tells you where it's actually pulling that information from, and then it gives you the column label. But NetSuite normally that the column label is the field where it actually mentions the field. So if you maybe want to have it as sales rep, but still see sales rep in there as well, you can just maybe put a semicolon in there, and that would actually just add sales rep in there as well. So
cool.
Yeah, there's nowhere else where it actually displays the field name apart from where at the top of the column.
Thanks, Michelle. So we've got a couple more about fields as well. So is there anywhere that we can get a list of the fields that are available to be customized into columns?
I'm not sure I understand that question properly. So to get so you're wanting to see a list of the fields. I'm not sure I completely understand the question.
Yes, I think that's what's been asked. So is there a way that it's possible to see all of the fields? I mean, there's the search fields tab there. Is there possible to sort of see a list of all the fields that you can possibly add, I guess, to the report? A library of the fields. There we go. That's a lovely way of putting it.
A library. I would need to check it possibly in help, but generally with reports, each report would have a different field type, and it does have this little plus and minus where it actually breaks it down into, and then you kind of have to look into sales rep and then break it down. So we've got employee is a department that we're looking at, plus address book. So yeah, to answer your question, I would need to double check if there's possibly a help article that gives you a list, but not to my knowledge. But we'll need to take that offline and double check that.
Okay, no, that's great. I guess you can sort of have a look through that list, can't you, and sort of get an idea firstly of the components and you wanting, and then see if you can search.
Yeah.
But no, that would be great. I can give you the email address of the person asking that question, Michelle, and we can send more information out. Wonderful. Here's another question about column names. If I change the column name, does it change back after running this one report?
No. So if you change the column name, it's going to be a customized report, and you save that report, and that's going to stay that way. So it's going to keep on sending it the way that you've changed it as. So because it's actually physically saved now, so it's no longer sales rep, it's now sales manager, and that would, so if I schedule to email that, that's how it's going to be, because that's how I save my report.
All right, cool. And on that same subject, also, does this change the column label across the whole amount of users?
Not so. It's only for the report. So if you go and change, so once you've customized the report, so once you've clicked customize, you will need to save the report in order to see it again. So as you can see, so I'm just going to go back to my report, and I'm just going to go back to our sales rep. So this is your standard report. This is what everyone's seeing. And then when you go customize, you can see that custom sales report, and it's going to have that little save. If I don't save it, it will actually not store my data. So you will need to save it, and then you can find your saved reports under saved reports over here. So you can refer back to it. So whenever somebody selects that report, that would then be whatever you saved it as.
Okay, so I think the question's been asked in terms of uniformity across all users, so that when people are sort of using reports, they're consistent. So is there any way that you can sort of lock certain reports or just have certain reports available for your users? So you're able to do that?
Yeah, so you've got your more options, so you can make it role specific. So yeah, you can select who needs to have or make this report available to. So if you, for instance, have this sales report that needs to go through to your sales managers only, what you'll do is you'll just add it as this is available to sales managers. So all the sales managers would be able to go to reports, saved reports, and then view this report that was made custom for all the sales managers.
Okay, fantastic. Just a question on something that you've not covered, but if you're able to. So when we export to Excel a collapsed version of the report, it shows it in expand format. Can we export into Excel with the filters already available?
No, I do not think that. Let's view that. I haven't actually tried that before, so I'm just going to go preview of this. So you're wanting these filters over here or the collapsed version to come through into Excel?
Yeah.
I haven't actually tested that before, so
that's a good question.
Let's have a look and see how it actually pulls it through.
Live answer.
I've got a feeling we're, yeah. It's taking its sweet time.
I guess
so it does extend it as collapsed. Yeah.
Okay.
So it does actually pull it. So if you've expanded it all, it will email through as an expanded version, but obviously you won't actually be able to, because it's just giving you the total value. So you won't be able to actually filter on that on the Excel file.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Michelle. Right, so a few more questions here. When emailing out a report, can it be emailed to a group within NetSuite, e.g. sales team?
Yes, it can. So you do have the option. So if we go, let's just click on email over here. So you would be able to select the group under recipients. So the group would appear. So if I go to list, I should have the option where I can actually just go select it to this group, and then it would email it to whatever email addresses. I'm not sure if there's actually any groups in this specific account. So as you can see, you've got the little group option over here, and that would then bring through all. So here's my sales team. So I can just go sales team, and then that would just add all their emails in there. So it just depends on how this group is set up.
Okay, fantastic. Now, are you able to demonstrate the add formula field? Is that something you're able to do?
Not able to do that at the moment. No, not today. Okay. So that would probably be more advanced reporting.
Okay, no, that's fine. I will put you in contact with the person who asked that question, if that's okay, and maybe you can follow that up with them. Wonderful. So there's just one last sort of general question here. Can you easily share customized reports with other users so they can also manipulate it themselves without affecting the original person's template? That's a good question.
That is a difficult one. So I haven't actually, as I said, I haven't tested that either. I will need to just test that, but I'm pretty sure they would be able to save it as, but they should not save it. So they can manipulate it, but then they're going to have to save it as a separate name so that they would have it to their customer. If they're going to customize it on the one that you've created, it will actually change that value that you've created. So they would need to make sure that they save it as a separate report. But I will need to check and see if that is actually possible to customize a report if they've given them access to actually view that report. So we'll need to double check that for you.
Okay, that's wonderful. So that looks like it for the questions. If there's anybody else in the last few minutes that we have who would like to ask a question, otherwise I will send out a copy of, we've had a feedback that's been a great session, so that's cool. Michelle, I'll send a copy of the webinar out tomorrow. So if that sort of highlights any questions, please do come back to us, and either Michelle or our support team will answer those questions. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thanks for spending time on that today. I think that's been a really time really well spent. So that's wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone joining.
Not a problem. You can go back and keep warm, everyone. And just remember to pop over to the Liberate IT website, and if you click on the events tab, then that will take you through to all the events that we've got coming up. And of course, the important one is our biannual live customer event, which is coming up on the 20th. So it is a full afternoon. It's well worth attending. We're going through the 20.9 or 2019.2 NetSuite updates, but really it's the networking opportunities to network with other NetSuite users who are in the same business space as you, and also it's an opportunity to have the entire or almost entire Liberate IT team at your fingertips. So more information will be coming out regarding the agenda for that afternoon. And in the meantime, everyone, have a wonderful, safe day, and see you all next month.
We hope this video gave you the information you were after. If you have any further questions, get in touch with us using the links in the description. At Liberate IT, we can provide free consulting to understand your business system requirements, understand your company growth plans, and provide free NetSuite demonstrations. For more information, visit our website.